Throughout this presentation, we will see with the birth of the Republic of Texas in 1836 just how embroiled it was with the politics of slavery not only inside their country but also globally. This can be viewed by analyzing the primary source that we have for this project, a newspaper from Texas from the year 1837. In order to grasp the connection between Texas and slavery, we have to go back to the independence of Texas. Texas gained its independence from Mexico in 1836. This was a country that banned slavery even before Texas's independence. This was because American settlers from the South brought slaves to Texas despite Mexican prohibition of slavery. But with the independence of Texas came a swift restoration of slavery to sustain the prosperous cotton industry. This stance would isolate Texas from Mexico, integrate it into the American South, and encourage slave-owning farmers to migrate to Texas in search of land opportunities. Our primary source comes from a Texas newspaper called the Telegraph and Texas Register. This article, published in May 1837, reprinted a debate that took place across the ocean, in the British House of Commons. This debate involved members of the British Parliament and covered the question of recognition of the Republic of Texas as an independent state by Britain. Why? Because of slavery. This discussion that appeared in a Texas newspaper reveals the level of connectivity of Texas with global politics and how the question of slavery made its presence felt globally at a relatively earlier stage. But with the independence of Texas came a swift restoration of slavery to sustain the prosperous cotton industry. This stance would isolate Texas from Mexico, integrate it into the American South, and encourage slave-owning farmers to migrate to Texas in search of land opportunities. In this debate, a British politician named John Hoy made some audacious claims that American settlers and leaders plotted to seize the Texas territory from Mexico by introducing slavery to that region. Others in Parliament objected to the notion that it was a responsibility of the British to intervene in the affairs of a newly formed republic. But the words of Hoy resonated with a fear that a new slave system was moving westward, with Texas being a possible addition to a huge slave-holding empire. Reading their local newspaper and seeing this debate made it apparent to Texans that the world was indeed taking note of their decisions. This was taking place on the British House of Commons in London on May 9, 1837. However, this text was quickly distributed across the Atlantic, making it visible in a Texan newspaper. This reveals that the issue of slavery in Texas was not merely a local question. There was international awareness of this issue. Britain was debating whether to recognize Texas as an independent nation. But slavery became a major moral obstacle. The Telegraph published the article to rally Texans, warning them that Britain opposed slavery and might refuse recognition. It encouraged unity among Texans and portrayed Britain as an outside threat to their independence and economy. The legalization of slavery in 1836 quickly brought the state of Texas into alignment with the southern region of the United States. This led thousands of settlers from slavery states to move there with their slaves. As the state of Texas joined the United States of America in 1845, issues concerning slavery in newly acquired territories gained national attention. While abolitionists from the North feared slavery was on the rise with the admission of Texas, the admission of Texas was considered by southern states as an expansion of their values. Disagreements of this kind would only strengthen in the coming years, bringing the nation ever closer to a civil war. The history of slavery in Texas was more than a southern experience. It was an experience of how the entire world approached freedom, race, and politics. The reaction of Britain to what was happening in Texas indicated that slavery was no longer merely a matter of politics. It was becoming an issue of morals. The Republic's struggle for independence was a reflection of the larger questions asked by society. Who was worth gaining their independence? To what extent could countries resort to protecting their economic interests, which existed on the foundation of slavery? The Republic of Texas was at the intersection of slavery and freedom. The Texans' fight for independence was founded on both ambition as well as contradiction. They fought for freedom while denying it to others. The decisions that were made during this time not only formed the identity of Texas, but it also led America into one of its most defining moments in history, which is the Civil War. As we consider this experience, we remember that issues of freedom, power, and morality always intertwine. Created by Sofia Garcia, Miranda Flores, and Alexis Guizer. Source: In the House of Commons, Telegraph and Texas Register, May 9, 1837. Hist 1301, The Republic of Texas and Slavery. The Republic of Texas stood at the crossroads of slavery and freedom. Its political decisions shaped the nation's history, showing how moral and economic choices made in one small republic could change the course of an entire country.